I'm John555 and today I'm continuing my series of Gilligan's Island retro reviews with Season 1, Episode 14, Water, Water Everywhere. So, in this episode, the professor has built a pedal power water wheels to water the crops, but the spring they've been using has gone dry, so now they have to ration the water. And after some hijinks, Gilligan accidentally gets rid of their entire water supply by accidentally shoving, throwing, stabbing the water supply with the skipper's divining rod, which the professor does not support. And water divining has very little, if actually I don't think it has any actual scientific support. The only thing is that the people who do that stuff legitimately believe they can generally do it. It seems like the only thing we have about that stuff from a scientific perspective. Though in the episode, does find out that Mr. Howell is hiding some water in a flask on his ankle, so in Gilligan's Island it works. We can say that for sure. But because Gilligan accidentally gets rid of their entire water supply that they've been rationing while they're trying to find some new water source, people are a bit, not happy with him. The skipper and the professor are not talking to him while they're drilling for a new well. Gilligan does not do a good job cheering up the girls, does not even speak with the house, who are doing a pretty offensive rain dance to get water. The girls' plan was to make a top to catch the dew, which, get a clear top and you can make yourself a solo still, so they're on to the right track. The house, no. And also, it was not the Cherokee at Yellowstone Park that did it. The Cherokee do not live anywhere near Yellowstone National Park. The Cherokee's home area, we're looking at Georgia, the Appalachians, the Carolina, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, that area of the country. And then they were forced west on the Trail of Tears to Oklahoma. And neither of those areas are anywhere near Yellowstone National Park. Let's see, the Lakotas, that's Dakotas, that's the Sioux, depending on exactly which tribe we're talking about, which name we're talking about, which area of history we're talking about. They're the ones who live closer to that area, and there's a few other tribes whose names I am blanking on. And I don't even know if those tribes do any rain dances and that. But it certainly wasn't the Cherokee at Yellowstone National Park, because the Cherokee lived nowhere near Yellowstone National Park, whereas the pre-European contact or post-European contact and post-Trail of Tears, just the geography is not geographying. Okay, now that weird sentence with trying to turn geography into a verb, I guess. Now that that's out of the way, Gilligan actually does find more water because he chases a frog, realizing the frog is wet. The frog must know where there's water. And then, of course, he chases the frog. The frog gets under Gilligan's hat and is jumping around, so Gilligan's trying to catch his hat, yada yada. But eventually, Gilligan falls down a hole into a cave system with water in it. And then eventually the skipper also falls down there too. But it's fresh water. Now, I do have to question this, because they're on an island. Depending on where, the island is shown to be somewhat mountainous, so there might be a cave system with a freshwater river system going through it. So that is perfectly reasonable, and that is typically how caves form water, so that all makes sense. But they're on an island with salt water. We don't know how deep that hole is. Are they above or below sea level? Because if they're above sea level, yes, it could easily, and probably is fresh water like the story says. But if it's actually below sea level for that cave, I'm sorry, that's probably not fresh water. I'm just saying. But the professor was right to warn them not to light a match because of explosive gases in there, and that does happen. Though if there's explosive gases there, I'm not sure how long they would have still been surviving. But a hole like that for entering a cave system, perfectly reasonable. I think, I'm not an expert on caves, but I think that might be a little too big for a cave that has explosive gases, because I feel like that's big enough to allow a good exchange of air. But again, I went to school for history, not speleology, so I'll let the speleologists in the comment section correct me on that stuff. But most likely that hole looks like a sinkhole, but doesn't seem quite right. Just because sinkholes generally are going to be caving in on the sides, though I guess it could occur that way. Am I getting too much into the weeds on how a cave entrance should look like that? Yes. Am I still going to get into the weeds? Yes. Do I know enough to get in the weeds? No, I do not. But water forms caves, sinkholes, which are often formed by water, create cave entrances. I've been to many, many caves, and a lot of them have sinkhole entrances. So that's all good there. And water in caves, again, perfect. And so as the episode ends, they're drinking water and all that, and the submarine Gilligan finds the water, but he says, hey, credit where credit's due, and pulls out the frog out of the laser that his water is currently in. This is a fun episode overall. I will say, like I said, probably the worst part is the house's rain dance, because, cultural appropriation and totally factually inaccurate about everything about it. So yeah. But yeah, overall, fun episode. But that's what I got to say. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my latest retro review. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a like. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you for my very next video.